Okay, magic metaphors. You want to talk about
Yeah. Welcome to the first episode of Magic and Metaphors, or I guess episode number 2. There's a rough draft that I did with Greg.
that? Okay.
Yeah, the one I wanted to drill in with you is forest for the trees, because I feel like people get confused in Magic, that they get just lost in the game, lost in the sauce. They can't see the bigger picture. They like can't even attack into a bunch of blockers. And limited is actually the best example of this, because limited, like people have a hard time with limited, but it's hard to see a whole limited metagame. That's why it was so cool when it did so well with Wilds of Eldraine.
Yeah,
And all that playtesting in,
that was great.
They saw the full forest, and Jesse executed. Even Sean Collins executed.
Yeah, I mean, we all did like that. The tournament was amazing for Oregon and the players that we had in that Discord. I mean, like literally everyone did really, really well, especially on the first day. We had like 3 X1s, a bunch of X2s, like Friedman, me, Romero, Jesse, Sean. We all did really well. Ryan was like in the contention until the end too.
Yeah, it was cool seeing him day 2.
And then Jesse went on to win or get second or whatever, split the finals. I was like so sick. Sean won a PTQ. Dude, you see like, I know we're supposed to talk about the metaphor, but like,
no worries.
did you see the post where we made that in the Discord, Tracy Game Discord? We made the MTG like pictures channels.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of pictures of like Sean winning the PTQ and being in the top 8, and then I have pictures of Jesse playing like the top 8 of the Grand Prix in the finals or whatever. And I was gonna post those. I have like a lot of cool moments. I like getting those. Like that's why I was talking about I like doing the social media stuff, because I like I love to see my friends win. Like that is one thing about me. Like I really do like. I really am happy to see my friends win. Like I got so excited when Sean won and Jesse made top 8, and like it's just cool. Like Devin he got top 4 at the RC. Like I have pictures of like all those moments, and like for me that's like really cool, because I don't think there's like, not a lot of like my like really close moments. Like not many people have like pictures of that. So it's cool to document like those like really big moments for people. So I like to do more of that.
Yeah, I like that.
I should probably post those pictures of Sean and Jesse and Devin. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely throw them in there. I mean, we always bring this thing, so it's like when somebody gets out, it's like, hey man, your duty is like go capture some cool moments.
Like dude, I made some vlogs of like when I had like a couple of vlogs of like when we were at the RC or in Vegas. I never posted any of it, but I have like vlogs or whatever, which is cool. What the hell? Sorry.
Please.
Okay. I don't know why I'm getting such shit. Sorry. Go on. Magic metaphors. My bad.
Yeah, forest for the trees. And I felt like you'd be a good one because you've played so many different games. Talking about earlier about kind of just that pattern recognition of like being able to see how all these parallels or all these games kind of relate. They're all different strategy games that, people get stuck in one lane, or people kind of get like, they just get stuck focusing on weird details. Or even see it in like poker when somebody's like too caught up with like a hand that happened and they can't like let go of it.
Yeah, I can't move on to the next thing.
Yeah. And you can't see like this broader picture of the game. And I think I had this playing Magic where it was like playing a limited format on Arena. I day 2'd, but then I like slept in and didn't play the next day.
Yeah.
But like it was so cool because I had this moment I was playing and I was like, oh shit, like they're playing at this level 1, but I'm like level 2 or 3 right now. I'm kind of like seeing how the game's gonna take shape.
Yeah.
But they're stuck kind of dealing with like the ground circumstances. And I feel like, I don't know, I wanted to get your opinion on that, of like getting stuck mirrored in fucking details and random shit, but not being able to see like the full game or the full shape of the game of like where it's going. And I think that's like the really complicated thing about Magic. Maybe you need lots of reps to kind of get comfortable with just like the mechanics and like the base layer before you can like jump up a couple layers and be playing like, obviously a few turns ahead, or just be on a strategy that they're not actually aware of. Like they don't really see what you're up to until it like, falls on them, and then they're too far behind.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that a lot of people miss like the big picture, and like they don't really understand like how they're actually going to win the game or lose the game, or like what's going to happen. And a lot of people just kind of like play turn by turn, which is like, and like it's Magic is similar to like chess, where it's like, you gotta think about every turn, like what if you do this, what they're gonna do, and like I think people just miss that. A big thing that it's like, there's like hand reading and all this stuff, but a big thing that I used to think about when I was like talking about a lot about League is it's the same thing for Magic, and especially especially nowadays with like certain people who have just like one trick decks where like they know how to execute their plan very, very well, but they don't know exactly what their opponent's doing or what to play around or how to like for them to stop it. And like, so like, yeah, it's like I used to tell people in League like all the time, like, okay, you need to think about your champion and how to do your combos or whatever you do, but you also need to understand like how they're going to interact with you, what abilities they have. So like the biggest thing in like lower elo for like League is people think same thing for Magic. I don't even know why I need to really make the League references. Is like they think about what they're doing and what they're going to do, but they never really think about like what their opponents are going to do and like how they're going to interact. And that's like a big thing that people miss. I mean,
No, I like the League metaphor. That's why I like the forest for the trees, because League is just like a little forest fucking map that you have to like navigate, and it's hard to see that whole picture. I mean, I sucked at League of Legends.
Yeah, it's a hard game.
Yeah, I never put in their reps. Whenever we go to LAN party, they would just like roll me because these dorks been playing League all year, and I play once a year.
Like the beach house thing. Yeah, that's so awesome.
I get crushed.
Yeah, it's cool. I just think that like we were talking about earlier, where like there's just a tons of patterns from like all the different games. Like, so whenever you play a new game, like it's gonna be similar to something that you've probably seen or played before. And then like to say like forest with the trees is just like I think people just miss the big picture, you know, and like I mean, magic is just so hard. Like, you know, you get caught up on like something that happens a lot with people, and this is one thing that used to happen to me a lot, is that I'd be so focused on like one play or one plan, that how I see the game happening and how I'm gonna win the game, and like you kind of like execute a plan in your head, and then you draw a card, and it's like a card you weren't thinking about, and then it like kind of derails your like your game plan. And you think like, oh, like now I have this card. It's like a new plan, but then you don't fully think about it. And then you kind of like Jesse will always say like, you're split brain, especially like when drafting. It's like you're too split brain right now. It's like you need to go focus on one direction or one thing that you know had going for you or whatever. And like it's like what people make like metaphors to like, well, if all these people are all in on a bad plan, it's probably going to be better than like splitting up your plans and trying to do multiple things. So like, I think people kind of just like fuck that up.
No, I have that in limited where, like one card, this like little tantalizing like apple or something pops into your hand, and you're like, oh, well, maybe I should be shifting gears here. And I lose track of my like intuition. Where I already had a plan. I'm already going down a path. This new like shiny object is like distracting me because it's like, you know, an interesting play this turn or like kind of fun.
Oh, dude, I've just had games like, oh man, I wish I had one that I could remember. It's like on the tip of my tongue. But I've had games where it's like I had a winning line, and since I drew a card, like if I were to drew any other card in my deck, like I would have just went with the original line, I would have won the game. But since I drew that certain card, it like changed my plan and it made me lose. And like I've had situations like that a couple times where it's like, you know, you can call it misplaying or not thinking it all the way through, which is kind of what it is like you just kind of like get distracted. But it's like, oh, if I were to drew any other card in my deck, I would have just done plan A and I would have won the game. But since I drew that card, it made me like, you know, change my plan and like think about things differently, and it lose me the game.
You guys derailed.
Derailed, yeah. And so I've had that happen a lot. And I think that happens to people a lot because not enough people are really thinking about like there's so many levels to Magic, and the same thing back to League. League is a very interesting game because there's so many different skills and so many different things that you can be doing that make you a better player. And so like when you take a game like Counter-Strike, you can get really, really good at Counter-Strike just becoming really good at aiming. It's like, okay, I'm going to headshot every person I see because I'm really, really insane at aiming. But like League isn't really like that. There's so many layers of like different things to be good at, where it's like CSing or watching the map or like roaming or like when to push, when to not push, when to freeze, when to not. Like there's so many, like I look at it like a you ever go to like a light thing and it's like you can move the measure up and down and measure up and down. There's like 10 or 20 of those for League. But for Counter-Strike, there's only like 3. You know, I mean, that's not necessarily true. There's a lot for Counter-Strike too, but as in like it's not as much because so much part of the skill is like just being able to aim and shoot that like you can get high rank just being able to do that without knowing how to throw grenades or set up lineups or like, you know, anything else. You can just be really good at aiming, and that's going to get you for far enough. And so, like with League, there's certain people, and I'm going to go back to Magic, where it's like they play one champion, they only play one champion, and they're really good at that champion. They're not really good at anything else. They're a one-trick pony. That's what we call them.
It's like somebody playing a modern deck for the last 10 years.
That's exactly what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Like, modern, for Magic, there's people that have been playing fucking Tron since the beginning of time. It's the same shit. Like, it's like the same patterns. You're basically doing the same thing. And even to the point with Magic nowadays, it's kind of happening where they keep kind of reprinting cards that are like very, very similar to old cards, but they're just better. Yeah. It's like the same fucking card. It works the same way. It's going to be the same pattern, like, but it's going to be a little bit worse or a little bit better depending on the card, I think of like all the thing, like for example, like this is like totally random, but like Dark Confidant, they've made so many cards that are so similar to Dark Confidant, like Dark Seer, whatever, fucking Glint Sleeve Siphoner. They've made so many cards that are like very, very similar. It's like, okay, like you play it on turn 2. If you can protect it, you draw an extra card every turn. Like you're gonna win the game with this card. Like, you know what I mean? It's like pretty. That is like the simplest thing that I can think of right now. But there's a lot of things where it's like it's the same shit, and it's like, oh, a really good one that people brought up in the standard format is that the blue black deck that was like
the previous one,
not the bounce. Like the blue black deck is everyone, like Andre Mengucci tweeted, like someone else tweeted about it. It's like it's basically mono blue devotion from that format. Like all the cards interact the same way. You have the same kind of curve. Like it's the same shit. Like they're all different cards, but the way that it plays, it's
different
like
mechanics, but it still has a similar play.
It's doing the same thing. Like, and so I thought that was a really interesting tweet and like talking about it, where it's like, yeah, that makes sense. And that goes back to like the patterns for me, or like the forest of the trees. It's like you just like, if you played a lot of one deck and it's the same shit, just recolored, different skin, you're gonna be good at it too. Like, and then that's what we were talking about earlier too, about like we've already played so much Magic that a lot of it is just the pattern recognition. It's just the same. It's just the same. You just you just figure out what is exactly the same, and then like it'll click with you, and like
It makes me think about the rough draft of Greg, where his metaphor is recipes and cooking. Where like maybe the recipe's a little different, but the deck cooks the same.
Yeah.
Like it still kind of plays the same, even though it has a bunch of mechanics, a bunch of different cards.
Yeah, same end goal. I actually think about like I played a lot of Living End in Modern, where you kind of like put your opponent in a squeeze, where you kind of put them in a situation where it's like, if they do something, then you can like, you basically get them, right? Like, so you kind of like keep restricting to the game to like one key moment where it's like, okay, now I just do everything and then they're donezo or whatever. And so like right now in Modern, the Jeskai Breach, it kind of does that right now. Yeah. And the reason why that deck is so broken is not only does it just win on turn 2 sometimes, you have this really, really powerful combo that's basically a 2-card combo where you win the game, but you also have this really broken card called Urza Saga that makes these constructs that just kill your opponent by just beating them down. So it's like, I've been having a really good time playing that deck and having fun playing that deck, because it's like, you put a squeeze on them where it's like, okay, I play my fucking insanely broken cards, play my whole hand on the first couple turns of the game, and then I play Urza Saga, and it's like, I'm going to activate this Urza Saga, and I'm going to pressure you to kill you with these tokens, but if you ever like tap out or try to like interact or try to kill the tokens or like, do your game plan, then I'm just going to untap and combo and kill you. And so like, I really like that, because like you just put a squeeze on your opponent, and then there's basically nothing they can do. Like, it's like very hard to interact.
Is there a relation to like poker and positioning in that way, like putting somebody in a squeeze?
Yeah, you just like you just squeezing. It's this very similar. Where it's like you just put them in a hard spot where you're attacking from different angles.
That's what I loved about the new red-green deck, or the mono red deck for standard, is like, oh, this red deck can shift gears. Like, you go all out, but it can be like, I'm gonna backpedal a little bit and play a little bit longer game and like secure a victory.
Yeah, and I think like the way that they're printing cards, like it's like kind of like is because of that. So like for example, like a card like Manifold Mouse or whatever, it's like it's like so dumb. Like I'm not even to say it's like so like it's so broken, but like a lot of the cards are very like power crept. But it's just like it's like okay, this card is really good on turn 2, but it's like no, it's also good on turn 4 because then you get 2 guys, right? Like you know it's kind of like kicker, but like. I mean, obviously it is kicker, but like a lot of the cards before, like in Zendikar, the kicker cards would not be very good on the face value without like kicking them. But a lot of the cards nowadays are just very fucking good.
Both ends great.
Both ends great, you know, and that's a cool thing. Or yeah, it's like the standard deck, you can play more of a longer game because you have things like Innkeeper's Talent, you have mana sinks, you have Manifold Mouse, you have a lot of value where like, you know, you can get extra cards from the Emberheart Challenger. It's like it's just a good deck.
Well, it's like back to Modern Breach where it's like you have both these game plans are great.
Yeah.
And it's like if they try to attack that one, you just attack with the other angle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just what makes good decks right now in Magic.
Versatility. It's like shifting gears.
Yeah, shifting gears. But yeah, I think for back to like what like helps people see the game or like missing out on that is like I don't really know, to be honest.
I suspect it's limited. Like there's some level I think limited is like the foundation of Magic. Of like being able to like work your way out of all these like really obscure positions or kind of like it's not something you can put a bunch of reps in like I know my deck inside and out and I know how it operates in this matchup and that matchup. Limited is like you build a whole new deck and then you're playing against a bunch of other whole new decks and maybe there's archetypes and strategies, but it's always like really new, unique situations that you have to
I would say like the games are like every limited game is like very different. Like obviously like you can play 100 matches of you know limited and like learn all the cards and learn all the interactions and learn all the tricks or whatever, and then it becomes more like patterny. But like when you play constructed, it's like, dude, like you should be able like actually funny like what I was gonna say is you should be able to understand like what your opponent has in their hand by knowing what they played in the first couple turns of the game. Like Nathan Stoyer, he actually just is doing this coaching session. He just posted it on Twitter. I don't know if he already did it or not, but he's doing like a coaching session on hand reading. And it was funny because I was talking to the guy.
What is the definition of hand reading?
It's basically what I just said. So like if my opponent
guessing what your opponent's on?
It's basically knowing what's in your opponent's hand.
Yeah, okay.
Because the way that they played the game, this card has to be in their hand, basically. And this is like a very, very hard skill, but like is one of the best skills in Magic, and it's something I talk about in poker a lot too.
It's one thing I haven't gotten good at poker to understand, like the betting patterns of what they're representing, or like they bet this way, they probably have this in their hand.
Oh, dude, like before I actually played poker, this was years and years ago, but dude, it was so sick. Like me and Colin's my friend that played Pro League of Legends. He was LCS. He was playing poker. He was playing online poker, and me and Jesse were watching him. And Jesse was kind of like helping him play or whatever. And there was like a he's playing against like other like league players that are like aren't that good or whatever. Like they're not very good at poker. But like Jesse called the exact 2 cards that were in their hand like 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like it was like disturbing for me because for me I'm like I'm not good at poker now. I didn't know poker. Like I wasn't good at all. Like I didn't even understand. But the fact that he knew their hand. And like this was even, I would say this was so many years ago that like I was good at Magic, but I definitely wasn't as good as I am now. And it was just like cool to me to be like, wow, he knew exactly what they had every single time or whatever. And it was like, it was really eye opening. But back to Magic, where I was telling the poker guys, it's like, poker and Magic have so many of the same skills. And when I describe Magic to people, I'll be like, Magic is a mix between like poker and chess with dragons. That's what I always say, or like dungeon, fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons. I always tell people
I always
that.
like poker and Pokemon.
Yeah, and so I always tell people that. And then back to the hand reading thing, is like a lot of times in Magic, like when I play against someone, by like the 3rd turn of the game, like I'm gonna have an estimate, a range, if you want to go in poker terms, I'm gonna have a range of what cards could be in their hand. I would say a lot of times when I'm playing, I know what's in their hand, like half the cards in their hand. Like I'll have an idea, like I'll have a pretty good estimate of what is in their hand. And like I don't know what Nathan did in this coaching session about the hand reading, but I would assume that he goes over and he probably does show like examples of the lands that they played and the cards that they played and which kind of like we had a really interesting. This is a long time ago, but we were playing the Pioneer format and we were playing against mono green, and they were stuck on 5 lands, and they had like 3 cards in their hand, 2 cards in their hand. And I basically told Jackson, I was like, they have to have a Storm the Festivals in their hand. It could only make sense for them to have Storm the Festivals in their hand because any other card they would cast, and if it's a land, they would play, right? That's a pretty easy, obvious one. They have to have a 6-drop in their hand, right? So that's a hand reading thing. So I'm assuming that Nathan is showing situations like that.
Yeah.
But even earlier in the first turns of the game, you can know what's in their hand or what lands they have by what they fetch for or what they have or what they're going to cast. Yeah, exactly. It's very, very, very similar to poker where it's like when they raise to this amount in this position, there's a range. So like if you look up GTO, you look up all the charts, you can look up other things, you should be able to kind of know what kind of range of hands that they have by what they're doing. And then when it goes to the flop, depending on if they check or bet or how much they bet, especially when it comes to like players who aren't as good or like lower end players, and depending on how much they bet is going to give away some amount of the range of that's in their hand, right? Depending on the board texture and depending on like how much they bet and depending on what's your hand, then you can kind of guesstimate what they have. And that's one thing I've been telling the poker players, like, dude, yeah, in Magic, like I would just know what's in your hand. And in poker, like I'm getting way better at that. And that's like one thing that I'm getting pretty freaking good at now that I've been starting to win more in poker. I mean, I'm also getting lucky. I'm not going to say I'm a good poker player or anything, but I'm getting way better at that because I'm pretty freaking good at that in Magic. So yeah.
And that transfers.
It transfers, yeah. And that's like one thing that I'm starting to notice. But it's also a very big skill in Magic and that like people really should work on.
Oh, totally. It's a hard one. It's abstract. It's weird. And it makes you pay a lot more attention to Magic, which I think you obviously have to.
Yeah. It's just funny because like, I've had situations where I'll be playing with certain people and I'll just be like, this is in their hand because of what they did, and then they're like, well, how do you know that? I'm just like, well, look at the game, like, yeah. So people miss that a lot, which is fine. I mean, it's hard to do if you haven't played the matchups, but to round it all back. In Modern or constructed, the games all play out very similarly. Like like it's a pattern. Like they play the same way every time. Like, and you can kind of get a grasp of what their hand is doing or what they're doing depending on what cards they played. But in Limited, it's not so simple. Like Limited, I would say every game is like different, and like it's harder to like understand like the game plan because you don't have like I win buttons. Like I love Limited and like I really liked playing Standard too, more so than Modern because it's more of like tacking and blocking and
it's
scrappy. Like it's like I love Limited way more than Constructed. It's like such a better game. Like
which kind of pissed me off when they play boosters and it's like, oh, you're trying to ruin this like good part about Magic.
The play boosters are so bad. Like and the thing about that too is that like some sets that they make for Limited are really good Limited sets and some are terrible. That's also like another thing that you have to like worry about is like sometimes, especially with the play boosters now. I mean, it's so different. Like the sealed Grand Prix, you would like my win rate in the sealed Grand Prix was like 60-something% or like some absurd like high percentage, just like a lot of like the really good players in sealed Grand Prix before, because you'd have such a bigger edge when you're drafting or building a sealed deck than you do than the players that aren't really testing for it, aren't really good, because there's so many different levels to outplay someone. Like when we were talking about draft the other week, it's like you can start outplaying people from your very first pick. Like every pick that you made a choice in is higher value than the players that are making worse choices. So it's like, so when you do a draft, you have just so many more opportunities to outplay your opponent when it comes to picking each card and then building your deck at the final part, and then in the games, like knowing what's in your hand and what's in your deck. But if I'm playing the person that I pass to, like I'm going to memorize every card that I pass, and then you're going to be able to put them on a range of like knowing what cards are in their deck and probably what they took because of what you passed. Like so, like that's like probably something I think like people miss out a lot on Limited, is just understanding like, okay, like what I passed would make sure I would pick those cards so that if I'm playing against this color of deck, like they're playing a green deck and I know I pass these certain green cards, they probably have that rare whatever card in their deck.
Yeah.
And then it goes to same thing for Magic. For Sealed, a lot of times people in Sealed would say, well, you can't play around rares because, like, you know, you only get 6 packs. Back in the day, you only get 6 rares. Maybe you'd get a foil rare, you know, but and it was so small that you wouldn't really want to be able to play around rares unless you could afford to. But nowadays, with the play boosters, there's so many more rares. More people will have those cards in their deck, and you can kind of put them on a range of like, oh, why the hell are they playing white? Well, they're probably playing white if they've played all these other shitty cards that they probably have a really good rare in that color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is like something people don't think about. It's like especially when you're playing limited, a lot of times you'd be like, okay, well, why the hell are they playing this color? Like, were all their other colors really that bad? Or like
Or
they probably have a reason to why they're playing it. And so I feel like people miss that. I feel like that's like another forest in the trees kind of thing where people just like totally miss that.
Yeah, it's like way different than when you're talking about this like limited, and I was thinking about just like tightly wound up meta games where people, they know their ABCs for their deck, but when they get thrown into a limited fray, it's just like there's so many more choices you can make, and I don't think people realize like those choices compound, like even when you're drafting and then when you're playing especially too, just because the games are so varied.
Yeah, compound. I didn't think of saying that word, but yeah, that's what it is. It's just compounding every decision, like bang, 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 bang. It all adds up, and you get people always talk about like you get percentage points or win percentage points for every decision you make, and like when you do a draft, it all adds up, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of randomness and how the packs break and stuff too, but it's so much better. So much better.
But yeah, it's just like stepping back and trying to guess the larger game. Trying to, why are they playing those colors? What could they potentially have? Like, what do I have to face in the next few turns? Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's a hard way. It's like, it's hard to imagine Ryan's really good about this, about imagining all the potential cards that they could have that would stop him from winning. And he does like a slower path to victory to ensure that he gets to play around all the, potential
I do the
hiccups.
same thing.
Yeah, it's smart.
Well, there's just different ways, like especially when you're playing aggro decks. Like some people will like me and Jackson used to argue about this a lot, about like Jackson kind of is just kind of in poker where it's like, well, you got to make them have it. Like I'm all in, like you either have it or you don't, or I win, and like I'm the opposite approach. I would say like I'm more of like a nit where it's like I try to play around literally everything I can and play around their best card or the worst possible thing for me. And I try to play around it as much as I can until a point to where it's like I have to make a decision whether I can play around it or not play around it. Yeah. And I win or lose on those like, coin flip decisions or whatever. I feel like, a lot of people just kind of miss that.
I try not to do this thing anymore in limited, but I used to like, if I'm ahead in the game, I'll hold out back my bombs because I don't want them to know, again, the whole forest for the next 2 games of like what I actually have.
What's in my deck,
But sometimes, it's like, it makes the game a lot harder, or like maybe it's a big mistake. But I have this, I always used to do it, and I'm trying to like, I don't
James
think I
would
need
talk about
to.
that a lot. James would talk about that a lot. It's funny. James would be like, why would you show them that card? Like, I used to learn that a lot from James. James used to talk about all those things like so much. We used to play a lot of limited. It's funny because I think me, Jackson, and him are gonna play in that Team Seal tournament.
Oh, that's rad.
And like, it's a sweet team. I mean, I always will play with Jackson, and then we've been having James play because we don't really have like, we don't really have like a solid third. Like, I guess we never really used to, but I don't know. I've played some like Team Seal Grand Prix with me, Jackson, Pearson. We did really well in one time. And I'm trying to think of who else I played with. I don't know. I can't remember. I love team tournaments. Wish there was more.
Yeah.
I did a team tournament with Gabe and Brian one time.
Oh, yeah,
remember that? That was at that MXP thing. We got fucking Gabe Miss Lethal round 1 to that kid. You talked to him. Oh, God.
Oh, Benji?
Benji, and they ended up winning the whole tournament. And we were supposed to beat them round 1, and they ended up going to win the whole tournament. And it was just, I love team tournaments. It's so fun. Oh, man. That's why I'm excited about CCG and hosting more team tournaments.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good
doing
angle
it
to
right.
capitalize on.
Yeah, doing it. Yeah, it's like it's like I always talk about Magic where it's like it's an individual game I brought this up in the meeting we had like a while ago. Where it's like Magic is a one-on-one game, but it's an information game.
Mm-hmm.
So the more information you have, the better it is. And people, this goes back. I'm trying to make this more of a forest in the trees kind of thing.
Makes sense.
But like,
information makes sense.
People miss this. I'm a firm believer of you can learn from anybody, and that's why I try to treat everyone with like respect. And even if I think they're worse than me or they're not very good at the game or whatever, it doesn't matter because I really do believe that you can learn from everyone. Not a lot of people feel the same way. A lot of people
get ego driven.
You get ego. They think that like just because someone is worse than them, there's nothing they can learn from them, which is totally not true.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so bad to think like that, especially in Magic, because when some random comes up to you and shows you this like dog shit brew and it's like, yeah, I'm never going to play that in the tournament. But then you like think of like the interaction they're showing or whatever they made. It's like, it might like get you to think about something else. Like this is like totally like random, but this did happen to me recently where someone was showing me the stack and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that's how that worked. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and they're like, I would never know that, but like half the people would never even talk to this person. You know what I mean? So it was like, there's always something to learn. So when it goes back to like the team stuff, when we're doing like, like having people on the team and who to test with and blah, 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 there's so many arguments about that. And like, it's tough because I don't like to exclude people. And me and you have talked about that a lot. I've never been a person, I've always, even when we're doing all the other RCs before and before this like last one, where I've just been made a Discord and, anyone who wants to join can join and try to help everyone. It wasn't very successful. And like, there's like, up and downs for that. The last one that we did where we made it more private was more successful for everyone besides me, weirdly enough. So maybe I was putting more effort into like my teammates or like not putting that much effort for myself, or I don't really know, or maybe I wasn't as focused for that tournament. It's all hard to say. I mean, I don't know, but like, point is that I like to be able to learn from everyone and have everyone involved, and it's just hard to. I kind of derailed a bit.
Well, let me try to relate this to the forest versus trees. I feel like making a smaller team, more competitive players, better players, or whatever, you're making a more tightly constrained forest, less information because more people are probably agreeing with each other and like sticking in certain lanes. But like the broader the group, like the bigger the forest, like the more information you can glean from all these random people that have different ideas.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was trying to say is that Magic's an individual game, but I very much look at it as like a team game where it's like you need to get information from everyone to make a final like decision and conclusion on like your deck you're playing, your sideboard plans, what the meta is, all these things. If you have like dude, the last couple pro tours, like just from talking to so many people and looking at the metagame and like just really just being really like in it, like and playing every day, just dude, like I've guessed like the exact percentage of like what decks were going to be played at the pro tour, and just from being in the know and like because I'm connected to so many people and talking to so many people about what they're playing and blah 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 blah, and I feel like a lot of people are just like not even anywhere close to like that. And especially like with our group where I was telling you like how we approach Magic individually, and it's like it's so like vastly different for certain people. And like that was just kind of where I was kind of getting at, where it's like I like to view Magic as like it's an information game. The more information you have, the better you're going to do. So like that is like something I think people get just so blindsided from not being able to learn from other people.
Yeah, and I think Magic is kind of punching this way where it becomes like some sort of a pecking order. Like, oh, I don't want to hear your information. You're not even going to a pro tour. Like, what do you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh God. And I feel like team versus individual is a good forest for the trees, because I think team players do get a little, or no, sorry, not individual players get a little more ego driven and a little bit more like about themselves and trying to figure it out themselves. Where a team, you're like working as this unit together, trying to, and like you have the pressure of like wanting to even do like sometimes like I have way more desire to win when my teammates are counting on me.
Yeah, 100%.
When it's just me, I'm like, oh, I can lose. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, the team for like team tournaments, like team trios, team seals, whatever. Like, dude, this last one was very weird for me because I feel like it was one of the only times I've played a team tournament where I wasn't constantly helping my teammates. I think that's more so like on me and like the formats. I think that's like another reason why I didn't really like that team tournament as much, is because I wish it would have been Team Unified Standard, because we were all playing a ton of Standard and we all knew all the decks. But like when we did Legacy, Modern, and Standard, I had played 0 Legacy and 0 Modern in like the past year. So we were all playing like our own individually games. It is partially my fault because I was playing a brand new deck that just came out. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on. I didn't know what was going on. So that was also like, which made that a worse experience for me. I mean, I helped Jackson out. I saved one game. Again,
the fatal push.
Yeah, the fatal push thing,
Yeah.
the double block and stuff. Did that helped one time? So I did get to help that, but like none of the other matches. Like a couple times I looked over and I was just like, fuck, like we just messed up. Maybe I could have helped him, and I was too distracted. But more so like.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I was talking to Scott sometimes. I'm like, well, I don't know enough about this game or this format to even really get informed.
Or your deck. I haven't played at all. And
like that's the one cool thing about, if it's team unified a particular constructed format, then it's like everybody has a good picture of this format and we can kind of peek over and like give some insight tips.
Yeah, James brought up like when you're doing team sealed, it's way more like, because the format, the draft, like, or the sealed, the limited format so much that like you can actually all help each other. But when everyone's just playing their own individual game, it's like definitely harder to help if you haven't played that format or that deck. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't know. I feel like this is a big smattering of Forest for the Trees and Magic. If any of y'all have any opinions, drop them in the comments below, or reply on Twitter or whatever.
Reply on Twitter.
But yeah, I want to keep exploring this because I feel like there's all these different metaphors to look at Magic, and it is like you're saying, if it's an information game, it's like I want all the information. I want all the different ways people see it, and to bring all that together. Just have a wider picture of this entire game, and not just like, oh, I only play control decks. I only play combo decks. Like, oh, it's like, oh god.
Yeah.
Like, learn how to play this wide game. It's hard. That's why it's so fucking hard.
That's the thing though, is like, people are gonna approach Magic however they want to, right? Like there's certain people that literally only play control. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, and it's like they're like a one-trick pony, kind of like what I was saying with League, and like. If that's how you want to approach...
they know their champion really well.
Yeah, like if you want to approach the game that way and that's how you have fun and that's how you like to do it, then, do it.
Very true.
That's fine. But, everyone's has to make that, decision for themselves.
Yeah, it's to each their own, and also it's just like, there's so much time you could invest in Magic, and it's like whatever time you want to give into it, it's like, lean in the way that's actually going to make you enjoy the game.
Yeah, 100%. And for me, not quite sure right now.
Yeah. I think I'm more sure. I've been rattling on this idea of happiness is reality without expectations. And so I think about this when I'm playing Magic. So, obviously you lose, you can get sad. You win, maybe you gloat too much. But there's some level of you're just really playing the game and you're really engaged. Win or lose, you're excited for a good game. We all want good games of Magic.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when you remove the expectation, you actually get to really sink into this, I don't know, beautiful, intricate game that has all these twists and turns. But if you're a little too focused on winning, it just miss things.
That's another hard thing with Magic, where people who play so much and try so hard and practice so much, they kind of expect to win. And I feel that is it's a hard thing, because someone who plays 10x the amount as me, and then I go and beat them or whatever, I'm just using me as an example, they get very upset, and that's the harsh reality of Magic too. It's there's so much randomness, and there's so much skills, and there's so many things that go into it that it's you shouldn't have expectations. It's a hard game.
That's the salt that I love too, because I'm in that same boat where I don't get to play test very much, and I go and crush somebody that spent the last 2 weeks testing for this tournament. Yeah. And they're all salty about it, and it's yummy, yummy.
What's weird about that you brought up being sad and emotions in Magic, and I've told people this before, but not everybody views it the same. With Magic, I would never get mad, really. I've never been angry about Magic when I'm losing, unless I feel like my opponent was cheating.
Yeah.
Or then I get pissed. Then I get really pissed, maybe too pissed, to the point where it's if you do something shady or sketchy or cheating, I get really mad.
Oh, I liked it when Ryan was playing that game in the RCQ, and the guy was hiding his chamber rocks or something, and you were getting all
oh, I was so mad. Yeah. I was so pissed because it's just so bullshit. yeah. Anyways, but for League, it was the complete opposite. So for Magic, dude, like I lost 3 win-ins to Grand Prix. Like I literally cried like hard, like because that shit is brutal sometimes, especially when you're in those high like, high spots where like I've never been mad. I've never been like
You've
super
been
mad,
sad.
but I've been very sad. But League of Legends was the very, very opposite for me. I would never get sad when I lose in League. I would just get pissed. Like, and I think that is also like because it's a team game.
Yeah, you get pissed at your teammates.
Yeah,
not
you
doing well.
because like when I was younger, now that I'm older and like I understand that like just because you lose, like it's not your teammates' fault. Like it's your fault. You always can do something better. Like in any team sport aspect, like it doesn't matter like the result. Like you always can do something better if you won or lost it. Like it's so very rare that you did everything perfect. So yeah. For League, I would always get angry, never get sad, and I was always had those 2 different emotions with gaming for like Magic and League, which I thought was very interesting. I don't know what it is with like maybe like the expectations that I was talking about. Like where with League, I feel like
It's like things you don't have control over.
yeah, like for League though, it's like I think I was like expected to win, or like I expect that I'm going to win, or like I don't know. But for Magic, I'm more so like I want to win. I try very hard, but sometimes I think like the way the cards dealt kind of decide like I don't get really mad about like luck or like you know what I mean. Like it doesn't really affect me that way. I get fucking sad where where I'm like damn. Like I tried so hard and I lost, but it's not really like an angry. Like I don't, because we have a lot of friends, that get very angry. Like I've seen it, and like I just never really have had that. I don't know why.
It's probably because you saw it and you didn't like it. Whenever you see something in the world you don't like, you don't want to emulate it. And I've
Yeah.
always like whenever somebody got really salty or like started just complaining about luck or this or that, I was just like, this is gross. Like, I
Oh
would not
no,
want to
no!
participate in
It's
this.
funny though because I do that a lot. Like I'll be like, oh my god, especially when I'm playing with my friends. I say like, you're so lucky or whatever. But like I'm trolling. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
You're not serious.
like
Angry about it.
yeah, I'm not angry. Like I'll be like, especially we've been testing a lot online. I joke around and like, but like I'm not like mad. Like. And I'm not like serious. Like even if it was lucky, like I don't care. I'm just saying that because I think it's funny. I kind of say that more nowadays than I used to because now I just think it's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
No.
I was
I'll
just like,
have more fun with it. Just like relax.
yeah.
It's fucking magic.
I just like what you said about like your emotions with Magic or whatever. Because some people like are so like, what's the word? Not conceited, but like, fuck, dude. I hate
Explain the emotion.
I hate this word. And some people say this to me, and that's why I can't think of it because I hate it so much. It's like, oh man, what is the word? It's like you're like above it all. Like
Aloof? No.
No.
It's like you're
It's like,
too
God.
good for this.
No, dude. Oh my God, this is gonna bug me so much. It's like your expectations. You just expect to get it. Like, what is that? What is that when you? Oh my God. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. Cut the tape, bro. I can't remember the word, but someone will say it to me, and then I'll fucking call you and be like, "That's the word."
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Whatever. People just have, it's just. People just expect like.
That they'll get there.
Yeah, like people just have just this think that they like deserve it. That's what it is. Yeah. It's like some people just are so deranged. Like,
Well, again, maybe that is like all that testing. Like, I deserve this. I put in the fucking time. I'm sweating. I understand this format pretty well.
yeah,
And I'm pissed that you drew that card and you beat me.
yeah. I mean, that's the hard reality of Magic. It's like it's just hard. So, there's a lot of RNG too. Like you just show up and just get owned. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I've gotten good at losing. I want to get really good at winning.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, you got. If you don't lose, you learn. That's what I like to say. You don't lose, you learn.
Yeah, that's a good motto.
But like,
it's like that quote you had. It's fucking the
Yeah.
lucky quote.
Lucky quote is good.